Bear News Reality. Cut through the noise. See what's really happening. No spin, no script. Just facts and fire.
Welcome back to Bear News Reality. This program contains news reporting, analysis, and commentary intended for informational and educational purposes. We do not promote harm, violence, or illegal activity. Our goal is to explain events, examine impact, and hold systems accountable. In today's episode, we are going into the belly of the beast. For the next hour, we are dissecting the career and the character of a woman who has become a mouthpiece for power politics in America, Megyn Kelly. We aren't just looking at her latest headlines. We are tracking a long, consistent pattern, how her rhetoric shifts with power, how her principles change with platforms, and how outrage has become both her currency and her protection. This is not about one comment. This is not about one segment. This is about an arc where authority is never questioned when it comes from the right people, and dissent is treated as a crime when it comes from everyone else. To understand the Megyn Kelly of today, you have to understand that this isn't a transformation. It's an escalation. Even at Fox News, long before podcasts and subscription outrage models, the role was already clear. In 2013, Kelly told the country's children on national television that Santa just is white, and followed it by asserting that Jesus was a white man too. That wasn't a throwaway comment. It was an assertion of cultural ownership, a signal about who belongs at the center of the story and who exists at its edges. It was authority being used to normalize exclusion, wrapped in a calm tone delivered as fact. And here's the factual correction that matters. Jesus of Nazareth was not white. Jesus was a Jewish man from the Middle East, born in Roman-era Judea. Historical and archaeological scholarship consistently describes people from that region and period as having olive to brown skin, dark eyes, and dark textured hair. Presenting Jesus as white is not history. It is cultural revisionism. When Megyn Kelly declared Jesus to be white, she wasn't stating a belief. She was reinforcing a racial hierarchy by recasting a Middle Eastern Jewish figure into a European image. That matters because it erases identity and teaches exclusion as normal. This is important because it establishes the pattern. When Megyn Kelly speaks, she isn't asking questions. She is declaring boundaries. As her career progressed, the platform changed, but the function stayed the same. At Fox News, she was protected by Roger Ailes and played the role of loyal institutional voice until that institution collapsed. Only when the power structure shifted did her story shift with it. She testified when it was safe, not when it was hard. That move wasn't moral courage, it was career survival. At NBC, the attempted rebrand followed the same formula: soften the edges, keep the authority. But when she defended blackface in 2018, framing it as a debate, it exposed how insulated she was from consequence. NBC didn't fire her out of ideology. They paid her tens of millions of dollars to leave because she was a liability. And that moment matters because after that payout, the incentive structure changed. When mainstream institutions closed their doors, Megyn Kelly didn't reflect. She recalibrated. She moved into a space where outrage is rewarded, where cruelty is monetized, and where escalation is the product. In this environment, the angrier the take, the higher the engagement. Outrage isn't a side effect of the platform, it's the business model. That incentive structure brings us to January 27, 2026. After federal agents shot and killed Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse and U.S. citizen in Minneapolis, Megyn Kelly looked at her audience and said, "I know I'm supposed to feel sorry for Alex Preddy, but I don't." Those were her words. She mocked him. She framed him as an agitator. She told the public that if you don't want to be killed by the government, you should keep your ass inside. She argued that recording state violence was interference, that witnessing power should come with consequences. This wasn't commentary. It was instruction. Because when a media figure with her reach reframes sidewalks as kill zones for dissent, she isn't just expressing an opinion. She's training an audience. She's teaching viewers who deserves protection and who does not. And the hypocrisy is undeniable when you compare this to her treatment of Kyle Rittenhouse. When Rittenhouse crossed state lines with a loaded rifle and inserted himself into a violent situation, Kelly didn't tell him to stay home. She didn't call him an instigator. She didn't say he brought it on himself. She called him a hero. Same behavior, opposite judgment. To Megyn Kelly, insertion is heroism when it aligns with her politics and a death sentence when it doesn't. This is where the pattern locks in. Her language doesn't just defend state violence, it normalizes it. It conditions audiences to accept force as default, accountability as optional, and civil rights as conditional. That conditioning has consequences. It lowers the threshold for what people are willing to tolerate. It reframes victims as inconveniences. It teaches viewers that power should never be questioned, only obeyed. And this extends beyond one case. In 2026, her rhetoric expanded into open xenophobia. She publicly questioned whether Muslims should be allowed to govern, dismissed elected officials as not American, and framed religion as a disqualifier for citizenship. Again, these are her words. This is not analysis layered on top of her statements. This is the cumulative effect of them. Why does this get worse over time? Because escalation is rewarded. Podcast subscriptions rise with provocation. Clips go viral when cruelty is sharp. The algorithm doesn't reward nuance. It rewards certainty, outrage, and enemies. In that system, walking anything back is weakness. Empathy is a liability. And every time Megyn Kelly doubles down, the platform pays her to do it again. This is why the rhetoric becomes bolder. It's why it's delivered openly. It's why there's no restraint. No one around her is telling her to stop. And the audience that backs her doesn't just consume the narrative, they internalize it, repeat it, and defend it. Megyn Kelly is not operating as an independent journalist. She is functioning as a media wing for power, normalizing force, excusing abuse, and reframing accountability as persecution. She tells audiences not to believe their own eyes when state violence unfolds in public. She teaches them that obedience is safety and dissent is provocation. That isn't journalism, it's conditioning. And it's dangerous not because it's loud, but because it's effective. If you like this story and you like honest, hard truth and facts, and your feelings weren't hurt, please subscribe to the channel, like, and share.
Bare news reality. Cut through the noise, see what's really happening. No spin, no script, just facts and fire. This is